From the WCTV studios, this is the award-winning Eyewitness News.
It's been a year since the killing of a local man. Now family members search for answers in hopes of finding their loved one's killer. And Leon County is taking a stand and cracking down on convicted robbers. Those stories and more this Saturday, September 20th, 2008. Good morning, everyone. I'm LaKisha Long. Our top story, a Tallahassee woman is dead following a late morning accident. It happened around 11 a.m. this morning on Blairstone Road near the intersection of Old St. Augustine Road. Police say 88-year-old Pauline Brown was driving south on Blairstone Road when her 1991 Toyota Corolla veered off the road and into a utility pole. Investigators say she suffered serious head injuries and died at the scene. But an autopsy will be conducted to determine the exact cause of death. They also said she was not wearing a seatbelt. The accident blocked traffic on Blairstone for about an hour. It's a year later, and the killer is still on the loose for the murder of Barney Taylor, who was gunned down in his own office. Taylor was found shot to death at Tallahassee Roofing Supply back on September 21st, 2007. Deputies say he'd been robbed. 1 year later, a sign with his picture stands out front as his family still waits for answers. Investigators say there have been few leads in the case, but one came in last month and they are still optimistic.
I think that the person is out there.
Taylor's 3 children are now running the successful roofing company he built. They say they plan to spend Sunday with their mother and visit their father's grave. Leon County is cracking down hard on convicted robbers due to the recent increase in robberies. 19-year-old Tavares Lee Johnson of Fort Lauderdale, also known as LJ, was found guilty yesterday of armed robbery with a firearm. Johnson was charged with the robbery of a 52-year-old man on January 10th of this year when he stole $2 from the victim. Police say Johnson ordered the man to take his shoes off, lay face down on the ground, and empty his pockets.
Anybody who makes that decision to put a gun in somebody's face ought to be facing the maximum.
Johnson's sentencing is set for Monday afternoon, and he could receive anywhere from 6 years to life in prison. Lawyers for accused killer Gary Hilton are asking once again that the charges against him be dropped. Judge Terry Lewis already denied the request once, but Hilton's lawyers have asked for a rehearing. They insist the grand jury that indicted Hilton back in February was biased by extensive media coverage in the case. They want a new grand jury to consider the case and want to be able to question prospective grand jurors about their exposure. Judge Lewis has not yet acted on the request. The government steps in with a plan to help banks facing failure, and investors rally Friday on Wall Street following one of the worst financial weeks in U.S. history. Eyewitness News reporter Sandra Smith has the latest from New York. That was Sandra Smith reporting. Congress plans to work through the weekend nailing down the details. Democratic presidential candidate Barack Obama is holding rallies in Daytona Beach and Jacksonville. Obama is scheduled to make campaign appearances this morning at Bethune-Cookman University in Daytona Beach and later at Metropolitan Park in Jacksonville. Obama is trying to court Florida voters at a time when polls show the race between him and Republican candidate John McCain tightening. Florida again is expected to be one of the key battleground states with 27 electoral votes up for grabs. Republican vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin is making her first campaign visit to Florida this weekend as well. The Alaska governor is scheduled to hold a rally Sunday at 3 at the Villages, a Central Florida retirement community in Ocala. Palin is hoping to secure Florida's 27 electoral votes. Pavers are laying the foundation for a field of miracles. One of the fields at Messer Park in Tallahassee is being revamped for the Miracle League, a league for the disabled. The special rubberized infield will look just like any other baseball diamond with bases, lines, the whole 9 yards. But the disabled children and adults have the chance to play much more there, including basketball, volleyball, tennis, and soccer. The newly remodeled Miracle League field is scheduled to open the first week in November. We're just getting started this morning. Up next, Sheena gives a complete look at the forecast. But first, here's Elton with what's ahead in sports.